If you remarried and didn't update your estate plan, here's what's going to happen. Your spouse and your kids from your first marriage are going to fight. I've watched it. It's the most predictable and most preventable conflict in North Carolina estate planning. One of two things is probably going to be true. First is you've got your old will from your first marriage that probably names your ex-spouse and then your kids. And your divorce was effective in cutting off inheritance rights to your ex-spouse, but your will probably isn't going to control a ton. So number two is you probably have a bunch of your assets either jointly titled with rights of survivorship or beneficiary designated to your new spouse, which doesn't require them to give anything to your kids from your prior relationship. Or you never had a will, and this is your present reality is how it's always been. All of your assets, all of your beneficiary designations are just pointing to whoever the spouse is at the time. If you pass away without a will and there aren't designations present, then North Carolina state law is going to divide things in a way that you probably wouldn't have wanted. Part to your new spouse, part to your prior relationship children. None of it is probably exactly the way that you want it. If you remarried, your estate plan should reflect that. Click the link below. Estate planning, when you have a blended family, meaning this is a second or third marriage and you have children that you don't share with your current spouse, it means intentional outcomes planning. It means setting forth goals and creating the strategy that actually accomplishes those goals instead of crossing fingers and hoping things work out or threatening to haunt your spouse from the grave if they take all the money and don't give anything to your kids. Most people still want to benefit both. They want to make sure that their spouse doesn't go wanting. They have the cash flow and principal support to make sure that they don't go wanting. They don't have to work into their 70s if it's not absolutely required or something that they want to do. But they also want to make sure that their children from their prior relationship aren't unintentionally disinherited from receiving anything. The way to make sure both of those things are true is intentional and often trust-based planning to create a structure that will actually provide income and discretionary principal support to your surviving spouse to make sure that they have what they need. Not anything that they could possibly want, but to make sure that they don't go wanting, while also preserving a remainder interest. Whatever's left after they pass away goes to your kids, not their kids, their siblings, their beneficiaries that you would have never chose yourself. In order for this to be an effective strategy, though, it requires implementation. We need to make sure that the right assets are titled in the right way, to make sure that the rules that we are creating very deliberately towards the outcome you want are actually going to be had on the assets you stand behind, to make sure that it will actually work the way that you are envisioning. Funding and follow-up over time is how we do that, to make sure that everything works whenever that day should come, instead of it being really great this year, but not evolving and aging well over time. If you want to know what strategy is right for your family, click the link below to start the conversation. It's probably also worth having a conversation around prenuptial agreements or postnuptial agreements to make sure that we're both, as spouses, agreeing to give to each other whatever we want to give and preventing the other spouse from electing more than they're entitled to through default statutory provisions called the elective share in North Carolina. This is just making sure legally that you can give to your spouse whatever you want and he or she can give to you whatever they want, but neither spouse can elect more than what the other gives to them. So this is another layer of very intentional planning. Instead of relying on the state's default rules, we're creating a strategy that we know is actually going to work. Having the conversation ends up making sure that this is actually going to work and maybe prevent any sort of challenge in the future as well. Transparency, goals, clear intentions, what you want to happen, what you put in place, sharing with all interested parties, your spouse, your children, to make sure that there isn't fighting when you're no longer here and everybody is just assuming what your goals were. Blended family estate planning isn't about who you love more. It's about removing the conflict that your family doesn't have the tools to handle without help. Link below. Protecting your family requires more than just standard documents. Schedule your consultation with our team today.